All right, oh, people are pouring into class. So it looks like 8:05 is a sweet time when people just start coming in. Yeah, I noticed that in the forums in Reddit, a lot of not a lot actually, well, a few people um, are uh, disgruntled with the pace of the class or the way it's being taught and things like that. Just want to clarify. I don't know if the people are here, but essentially, this class is uh, designed for everyone, not just the strong people. The only uh, requirement is you not be shy, all right, and you be bold to ask questions. Right? I mean, if someone says, "I need to learn stuff, but I'm never going to ask any questions. Everything I need to know." I'm not going to tell you what I don't know, but what you should do is take the knowledge that I want, put it in a syringe and inject it into me, right? When I'm sleeping under anesthesia. So I don't even know how I got it, but I have got it. All right. So that kind of student may not do well in my class, and that's why I actually made this point very clear in the syllabus before students enroll in my class, so that they can read it. And everything is open. They can read it. They can look at video recordings of past classes. They can look at the modules, not the modules, but they can look at the forums and the syllabus, which describes how we would do things in class. And if it's not your cup of tea, which is perfectly, it's possible, right? I mean, it's possible that people have a different learning style, and and uh, and obviously uh, you're not out of luck, really, because this is one of many sections of C++ that is offered at Foothill. And if not Foothill, there's so many other places where you can learn C++ from in the traditional style. And so that's why the syllabus is out early, so you can read it and decide if this style of learning is for you. Ultimately, what I'm after really is for everybody to pipe up and say, this is what I want to learn, right? This is where I'm stuck. This is what I need to know. And only when you tell people what you need to know, they would be able to help you. And when posts get deleted, and I think I've said that before, and it's worth reiterating, um, posts will get deleted if they are completely unhelpful or mean, or basically just post source code, or give away solutions or passwords. So if there's a critical portion of your assignment that you're stuck at, or maybe you're not stuck at, or maybe you're stuck at, take the Limerick quest. I don't know, is this Starling or Jay, right? So take the Limerick quest as an example. And there's only one line really that you need to get perfectly right. Yes, the Limerick function is just one line, and it's all about the formatting, the specific formatting, and the operator precedence rules there. And so if you actually posted your line of code in the forums and said, this is what I'm doing, what is wrong, then it may get deleted because that's the only line in that program and you're effectively posting your whole source code. The better way is to say, this is what I want to happen. And how would I go about that? How do I calculate this so that the left-hand side is always going to be equal to the right-hand side, no matter what values the caller of my program sticks in, right? The caller could say, a dozen is actually a baker's dozen, and so it's 13, right? And a gross is something else, right? So different values in. How can I make sure the value calculated by the reference code is the same as mine? And so that kind of thing would be more, it would be easier for other students to answer, right? Instead of saying, well, you have that open parentheses on, in column 5 should be turned into something like that, right? So you don't, I would prefer that you don't get responses like that saying, this is exactly what you need to get to make your program work, because that way you don't learn anything, right? So you just make that change, it works, and then you go on, move on to the next thing. And what do you get out of that? Tomorrow or in the test, if you have the same question, you're not going to, or similar question, right? So you may not be able to answer that properly. All right. So yeah, we have a fair number of students, and let's still give the other students a chance to join. In the meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, you know, um, feel free to ask. Right? Feel free to ask any questions that you'd like me to clarify. Um, if it's about the midterm today, that's fine. As long as you're not asking what is going to be on the midterm, the specific questions. But I believe we've talked about most of the things that you need to know about the midterm. You probably are comfortable enough to take the midterm anytime later today, right? Maybe 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Don't leave it too long, because if you start the midterm at 11:30 tonight, not 11:30 a.m., 11:30 p.m. tonight, then you only end up having 30 minutes for your midterm instead of the whole hour, because no matter what, the test will close at midnight. Okay, so we have a new student apparently, Sensei Ni. Now, Sensei Ni, is your are you Ni from last class? You using a different user code, a user avatar name, or is this a new user? Okay, Ni. So this is Ni fam, right? Okay, Ni. Thank you. I'm glad you had at least one word in your name that is common, so I could identify. Okay, all right. So go ahead, guys. I mean, today you are free, because today really is a no class. I wasn't planning to give you a lecture today. I wasn't planning to give you a lecture any of those days, right? But today I'm not planning, not planning to. Well, not double negative, but I'm not planning like totally to do anything specific. I don't have an agenda in mind for today's class. So feel free to take over the class. All right. Like I said, if I'm talking, I'm just providing white noise in the background until any of you starts talking or picking up the screen. Take up the screen and start talking. Then I'll just pipe down and go quiet all of immediately. So I'm only talking to make sure that students who wander in don't think that, hey, class hasn't started, I'm going to take off for a few more minutes and come back, because that's likely to happen. So I'm going to be talking to make sure that you guys can. Okay, Giorgio has a question. What's the difference between plus plus something and something plus plus? Good. All right. So here's what we can do, Giorgio, and I think this will be good if you don't mind. Take the screen and do a little program. Do a little program in which you have a variable, and you're going to print that variable using cout to standard output, and in the statement where and do a plus plus, and on either side of the variable in the cout statement, right? Put it in the cout statement, and then we'll take it from there. We'll experiment. Okay, we'll experiment more.
Okay, could you give me like 5 minutes because I'm currently on my
Oh,
phone?
totally. No worries. Okay, take your time. If
Okay.
someone else has something they wanted to show for 5 minutes until Giorgio is ready, take the screen. Okay. So I see quite a few people now in class. So one of you should just feel free to take the screen. And if you are uncomfortable with taking the screen and coding in front of class, you are lucky. Yeah. Okay. I told you this before, right? You're lucky if you're uncomfortable. Talk to Ni. Talk to Ni. She's here today. All right. She was here. Talk to Ni offline if you want, and ask her how she felt before, during, and after. So if you're uncomfortable, you stand to get the most benefit from taking the screen, and that will save you hours of complaining later, saying, well, I did an entire quarter of Anand's class and I ended up learning nothing. Or, halfway down the course and you say, well, you haven't started on any quest. I'm stuck on this quest and I don't know how to make progress. I'm really frustrated. It'll save you all that headache if you just take that screen now, and we'll all be with you. What's a better way to conquer a problem than to have other people working with you, right? Because if you do it on your own later, you're doing it on your own. You don't have other people helping you, right? So you don't. This is a great way. If you're feeling uncomfortable coding, take the screen right now, and in fact, do Giorgio's idea, right? So in fact, you don't even have to do anything. Just take the screen. All right, Giorgio, you've been here before, right? You've coded on screen before, haven't you? I'm going to say yes because Georgia's taken off for 5 minutes, right? So yeah, okay, so there you go. He's been here. So I'm going to take Giorgio's idea and toss it out there. And so anyone who wants to code, even if you don't know how to do it, even if you don't know how to start, right? You don't have to know how to start a C++ project. That's okay, right? You still have time to ace all of the quests because you get to quest 9, you can get the scores back for quest 1 to 4, even though they're frozen now. So yeah, so Chan Young or Alexis, so one of you on the screen, I see right now. I hope you're volunteering, right? So take the screen and start with a blank slate, nothing on your screen, and we'll all help you, right? We'll help you with the experimentation. We'll talk you through the code, and I bet that when you're done with today, after you've finished your coding exercise, you'll feel like 100 times more comfortable, right? And like I said before, remember how you're feeling right now before you start, and then tomorrow, or just before the midterm, right? Just before you actually do the midterm, think back, say, well, this is what I felt before I went up there. Alexis, thank you. Okay, fantastic. I am so happy because Alexis has been present every class, and she's not volunteered, and she's volunteering the first time. And also I noticed that she was one of the students who piped up in the Reddit subreddit in a forum to say that she was also, yeah, equally frustrated as someone else, right? And that's so fantastic. I'm happy that Alexis is coming forward because she was frustrated, right? You have to be frustrated before you come up here. And that is the best way to juice up, right? It's like pouring nitro into your car gas tank so that when you hit the gas pedal, it just takes off, right? So great, thank you, Alexis. Okay, so you've got a main program there. What we're going to do is simply in your main, we'll just keep everything so simple. In your main, just declare an integer variable. It can be a float variable too. It just has to be a numerical variable. Okay, choose a data type that you want. It could be int or float, double, even a char, right? Even a character. Declare a variable. Um, Not there. So what you would do is after main, let's say that main is not going to take any parameters. So we're going to design a program which does not take any parameters at the time it's run. So that's why. So typically when you start a C++ project, you would see main open parentheses and then int argc char star argv and stuff like that, right? It's enough to scare off a total beginner. And I don't know why the default main that IDEs provide actually has that form of invocation, because it really does scare people off. Get rid of it, right? I want to show you that it'll work. No, forget about declaring the global variable, right? So let's take the int x out of there. It'll work, by the way, Alexis, that is correct. It will work, but it's a global variable accessible to everybody, not just to one function. So we want to keep the scope really tight so that anything you declare, any variable that you create, is only visible inside the function where it's created. So the first thing we want to do is really clean it up so it'll be simple. Get rid of that int argc char star argv. Get rid of all of that inside of the parentheses of main. Yeah. Get rid of that. Well, okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Open square bracket, open brace, close brace. Okay, that's the body of main, and now we're going to fill it in. So at the end, go insert an opening brace. Yeah. space, and then an opening brace. Yeah, space is usually makes it look nicer. Okay, yeah, and then enter, 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 enter a couple of times. Hit enter a couple of times. Yeah, now hit a closing brace. Okay, now between the opening and closing brace is where our program is going to live. Okay, so let's write our first program here and say declare a variable int. Because it's int, yeah. And again, let's also work through some of the stylistic issues, so it'll refine it if you want later on. Okay, because it's an integer variable, let's try to stay away from calling it x, y, or z, right? Because x, y, and z, people will think it's a real valued variable. All right, double or float. So call it, yeah, C is fine. C is fine. Okay, C, okay, C equals 8. Excellent. All right, now you want to output the value C, and you would output that by saying C out, and give us a blank line after the declaration. The C equals 8. You know, that line is a declaration. You're declaring to the compiler, I'm going to be using a variable. It's called C, right? So a blank line after that. Meaning, so it's just like in English, right? You write an essay, you got to have the coherent chunks separated by blank lines, the paragraphs. So these are your paragraphs in programs. Okay, so C, and you say within quotes. Yeah, cool. Well, you know, I'm starting not to believe the fact that, you know, when you said that you're a total noob and you're totally uncomfortable, I don't think that's quite true, because you seem to be quite comfortable with, we won't take that for granted, but I think you're coming along quite nicely. So yeah, C out, and then you want to put a tag there saying C equals, right, within quotes, you say C space equals, and it's lowercase, right, lowercase c, because in C++, case is significant. C equals space after that, close the quote, and then you want to double less than the value of C, and then double less than a new line or end line or whatever you want. Yeah, and L. Okay, space, semicolon. Now at the end, you want to say, before the closing brace, you want main to say to the operating system, I ran fine, no errors. Okay, and you would say no is a return 0. 0 means 0 errors. Okay, nothing, and then get rid of the blank line after that, and your program is clean. And you can get rid of one of the blank lines after your namespace declaration also. Okay, now does this look good? Your program? It actually looks perfect. You know, it's very nice, tidy, indented well, good choice of variable names, and you know, blocks are separated nicely, and so you can run this. And before you run it, why don't one of us take a crack at take a crack at saying what is it going to output, right? Before, it's because this is practice for your midterm. I mean, in the midterm, you'll get questions like this, where you have a fragment, and then the question might say, what is the output of that program? So you have two options there. You can either copy and paste it into an IDE and run it and take the output and say, okay, that's what the output is. Well, you learn a little bit there, not a great deal. But a better way to learn is to not put it in an IDE, but run it in your head. Okay, so I'd like it if some of you could run this in your head, and not the ones who've been up here before, right? Not the ones who are already familiar. So run it in your head and say what you think it's going to output. All right? Yeah, use not the chat window. Do it in the yeah. Hit the space bar. Hit the space bar. Great, Chan Yan, fantastic. I'm happy to hear that. Yes, totally. You should go after Giorgio. Okay. Yeah, run it. And so, by the way, what is it going to output? Someone say, what is it going to, someone type in the chat window. All right, if you don't want to talk, type it in the chat window. So the reason I say talk is because I had a look at the YouTube videos. And the chat screen is not showing up in the YouTube videos. And so if you say something here and some other student watches the YouTube video, I don't know if people are watching the YouTube video. I think Zach definitely watches it, right? Because Zach, hey, Daniel, wait. So Zach definitely watched the video because he actually made a comment saying this is where Daniel's thing began and things like that. Nobody else has done that. So please do, right? Go to the video, Alexis and Chan and all you guys, go to the YouTube video later and you got to say, what is it? I don't know, 10:33 seconds. Alexis example, right? 15 : something, right? Georgio's, and so on and so on. You make these are bookmarks. So people, some online student can click on it and immediately see what's going on. And you can listen to the discussion about Alexis's program and things like that. Okay, so someone type in, Daniel, no, I think you will get the last chance today, okay? Everybody else before you, because you had a fantastic opportunity last class. It was great. And I don't want you to monopolize time. Okay, great. So someone type in, not the ones who've been up here, not the ones who know the answer, someone who doesn't know the answer but wants to try and take a chance. Just type in the chat window, less preferably, right? Ideally you speak. Type out or say what this program is going to print. What is it going to do? When Alexis runs this program, what is it going to do?
It's going to say C equals the value of C.
Right, and what is the value of C?
8.
Okay, so what is it going to print? What was that, Giorgio?
No, this is Steven.
Steven, thank you, Steven. Okay, all right. So it's going to print what? C equals 8, right? C space equals space 8. And then a new line. Every single character, every byte is important. So let's run it and see if that's what happens. Where's your console? I don't see your console. Hey, Alexis, where's your console? What IDE is this, by the way? Is this VS Code? It doesn't look like VS Code to me. Is it VS Code?
Sorry, I was having a hard time unmuting. My console's at
Xcode. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
No, that's fine, thanks. There you go. I see the console now. I moved the the video strip over it. That's why I couldn't see it. Yeah, C equals 8. Fantastic. And you see the program ended with exit code 0. Now let's try one quick experiment before we move on to the next thing. Try returning 2. Instead of return 0, write return 2. Yeah, okay. Now run it. There you go. You see, program ended with exit code 2. Now, what is the use of these exit codes? The use is that you can, in your program, you can do things like, type in what I say and it'll make total sense, and if it doesn't, go up below the cout statement, hit enter, right? If C is less than 10, then in fact, create a brace. We want to block there, 2 statements, right? Yeah, space before the brace would make it look nicer, but yeah, okay. All right, now you want to say cout double less than C is too large for me to handle, okay? To handle, and then you can also tell the user what it is. So you can say within brackets, you can say C, right? Or, yeah. Okay, now you want to return right there. You can return with exit code 1. Exit code 1. Return 1. Yeah. Okay. Now, if C is if C is greater than or equal to 10, it'll not go into there. So close the brace and say else if C is less than 20. Then you could say cout, and you can say OMG, C is like way too large for me. Yeah, okay, all right. Same thing again, C is.
Don't we want to say C is greater than 10 and 20, not less than?
The case for 20 will never ever trigger because it would trigger 10 first to then return.
Thank you, Daniel. Did you get that? It's very important. Yeah, and I think there's a reason why we do it this way is because um, this gives you a nice pattern that a programming pattern that you can exploit, right? If you have a bunch of if statements, instead of the else, we're going to get rid of the else now, right? And you'll see how it works just as well. So yeah, else if, by the way, else if, not else.
I think he was saying that shouldn't it be less greater than instead of less than, because less than 10 wouldn't be large, right? It could be small.
Right. So right now on line
Oh, yeah,
17, it was
Thank
less than, yeah.
Thank
Because
you.
we declared C equals 8, so it's going to trigger that if statement.
Thank you so much. Yeah, who said that, by the way? Was it Stephen again?
Anthony.
This is Anthony.
Anthony, thank you. Yeah, thank you for fixing that bug, because it was a bug in the code, a logic bug, right? It was a logic bug, not even a syntax error. All right, now you can say else. Else you can say, hooray! I found a C I can handle. You said extra, C. Yeah.
Also, this is a nitpick, but shouldn't you be using C error? Shouldn't you be using the error stream?
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. But let's not worry about that now. What Daniel is saying is that in all languages, when you print something to the console, you only see one screen, right? You only see one screen for your console. But really, there are two tubes leading into that screen. You don't see the two pipes, the two virtual pipes. One of them is called the standard output pipe, and the other is called the standard error pipe. Now, why is it important to have two pipes? Because later on, when you get to slightly more advanced programming, it doesn't even have to be like super advanced programming. You'll find out, right? So you get a slightly more advanced programming, your program may print usual regular output messages. And at the same time, it could also print error messages, right? Because you may print not fatal error messages. Fatal error means the program prints it and it's dead. But it may print warning messages and error messages saying, well, I can't handle C, but I'm still able to go on and see if other stuff is working, right? So sometimes it needs to print error messages. Sometimes it needs to print regular messages. So how can the user distinguish these two different messages if they're both coming up on the same console? So some of the IDEs like Eclipse and these people would say, well, what we can do is I have the same one screen, but I'll give you two pipes. If you have regular output, send it through the regular pipe. If you have erroneous output, send it through the erroneous pipe. And then anything I get from the erroneous pipe, I'll color it differently. I'll make it red when it comes on screen, right? Or anything on the regular pipe, it'll just be regular black font. So the person that runs your program, usually the operating system, in this case it's Xcode, right? So the person or the thing that runs your program can look at the output and which pipe it came from, and then make an appropriate decision based on that. So that's why C++ and C, many of these languages give you two different pipes. One is called C out, which is console out, and there's another pipe called C error, C-E-R-R, which is standard error. We will experiment with that later, okay? And you can see that it'll actually give you a different colored output on the screen if you do that. In fact, turn the second C out into C error, right? So this the second one, one of them, I don't know, one of them into C error, and then we'll try it both ways. And in fact, let's even do it, take this to the next level, okay? So instead of hard coding the value of C up there, you're going to just declare C and ask the user for the value of C, and you're going to read it in from the user's input. So you're going to use getLine and stuff like that as well. So you'll be like totally solid by the time we're done with this, okay? So you say C equals, so before you get C equals, get rid of the line, and you're going to print up. No, actually leave the line, but change the C equals to a prompt saying enter the value of P, enter the value of C. And then now colon, and then a space, and get rid of the end line and so on. So yeah, thank you. You are doing that already. So fantastic. And semicolon. No. You just end it right there. Yeah, semicolon there. And then on the next line, you would say let's just say C and double greater than C. Okay, let's not futz with, unless you want to, right? If you want to read into a string and use iString to convert that string into a number, which is a useful skill to have, we will do it that way. If not, we'll just read directly from C and using C in greater than into C, and then use that value, knowing that we'll do it. So do you want to do it that way? Alexis and the other people, if you think that is going to be helpful to you to read into a string and then convert the string into a number, we will do it that way. It's like two lines more. Okay, we can do it now if you want. Yes or no?
Yes.
Great, thank you. All right, so create a string variable at the top under int C, call it user input or something. It's string. No, is there a programming language in which str is used for string declarations?
Well, Rust sometimes uses str, but other times it uses string because
Which one?
string, or the Rust language uses str
RDOS.
as its string reference type,
Got
with
it.
not to be confused with its mutable string type. Yeah, Rust has confusing strings,
Is this Daniel?
like most. Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, Alexis, one of the conventions I follow, and obviously you don't have to, is that if it is a local variable, meaning a variable that is only visible inside of a block, like between two braces, I try not to begin the name of the variable with uppercase. It's just a convention I follow. I don't know who else follows it. So that, when I see anything that begins with uppercase, I know immediately that it's a global or static or something else. So you can use that. You can use the case differentiation to as cues for you when you're programming. Okay. All right. User input. Now you want to do get line into user input from CN. Right. So not there. After you print the prompt. You want to say get line. And then CN to user input. No, not there. So here, because you're calling a function called getLine is a function. So you're going to give it two things. You're going to pass it two things. You're going to pass it CN and you're going to pass it user input. Now inside of getLine, the designers of getLine, whoever created getLine for you, they're going to do what you just did. Okay, they're going to take that stream and do that double greater than and read it into a string. But you don't have to do that, right? You're telling getLine, go and do all that magic for me and give me the string only, right? So you're going to say CN. You're going to give it CN. Okay, CN is a parameter. You're going to pass it a parameter called CN. Okay, comma, and then this user input, you're going to pass it by reference. Okay, again, you got later on when you have time, read it up. So so passing by reference means I have a variable called user input and I want something read into it. Therefore, what I'm going to do is call this function called getLine and ask it to read from CN, which will also give it. I'll give CN to getLine. And getLine's job is to read something from CN and put it inside of a variable, but that variable is basically a box, a container. I'm going to send the original container to getLine so that getLine can put stuff inside that box, and when getLine is done, I can look in the box because I got the box. I'm just giving a handle to that box to getLine. So that's what, it's passing by references. So you pass it by reference. Okay, now you've got the string the user inputted into user input. We want to extract the number out of that string, assuming that the user actually put in a number. So here I'm going to say, let's use iString stream. Let's do it this way, guys. Okay, so this is the usual way. So iString stream. Yeah, and then open parentheses. Yeah, user input. Now this is one way to do this. We did it another way previously when I introduced this iString stream thing. I think we created a variable called ISS and then read from the variable into user input. Both are the same, right? So iString stream user input, and then get rid of the semicolon. Why does it? Yeah. iString stream user input. Why does it say? Oh, you don't have strings s stream included. Yeah. Well, it looks like Alexis is knows quite a bit of what she's having to do here. Okay. All right. Double greater than into your C. Okay. Now what this does is take user input, manufacture a stream with it, an input string stream. It manufactures a stream, and then returns that value, and that value is now used as a stream from which you read into C. Okay. Now at this point, you have the value C. Now we're gonna take this one more step further so that we don't have to repeatedly compile stuff, and then we can just keep doing this. Okay. So above your C out statement, the very first one, make a loop, right? Say while true, right? No, above there. Yeah. You can, in fact, you can get rid of the blank line. No, not there. You get rid of the blank line above. No, not there. So get rid of that blank line. Get rid of the blank line above that too. Yeah, get rid of that line. Okay, now go to the line above the C out, the top C out, and above the prompt. Yeah. Okay, hit enter. Now you want to say while true, right? While true, while open parentheses, true. Now this is what is called an infinite loop. Okay. Now you will find there are people that have opinions about these things, right? People will say, oh, you should never use infinite loops. You should never use continue or break statements, right? And then they tend to be very religiously wedded to these ideas. And then when they see these constructs, they actually get angry, saying, oh, this is a stupid programmer who uses an infinite loop, right? Now, when I see those, I usually immediately stop reading or listening to that person seriously, right? Or at least, everything they say, I now examine with a double pair of eyes because the rules are there. I think I've said this before. Rules are there to prevent you from shooting yourself in the foot, but the rules are not there for you to follow blindly. So every time you have a situation where you have a choice, you have to examine the situation and say, what is the most appropriate thing to do, right? If in this situation, is it better to break the rule and do it differently? And you'll see, right? You'll see that, in fact, in this case, an infinite loop makes a program more readable and more maintainable than another way of doing this, which, some other people would say, this is how you should do it, right? So exercise your judgment as to say, and now that you've got the while loop, put in a parentheses, not parentheses, a brace after that, because the entire thing is going to be in a body. Now, indent the whole thing. I think it's because it's Xcode. Just cut. No. Yeah, that's fine. Cut the whole thing below and paste it, and it'll automatically re-indent it properly. Yeah, cut and paste again. Okay, now get rid of the blank line at the top immediately after the while. Right. So let me run through this in my head. You're getting the value, right. Okay. So at the end, get rid of the return statement. You don't want to return immediately after.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Why is if return to 1 and that else return to 0 or 2?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. So can you say that again?
Why does if return to 1 and why does s return to 2?
Where does
So
S return to?
He was asking about why this if statement returns 1 and this one was returning 2.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. So we're just trying to experiment with returning different values to the operating system, so that we'll see the output in the console window, and the system says, hey, you exited with status 1, status 2, status 3. You can return anything you want, really. In fact, let's do this. All right. After your string input user declaration right there, line 16, right there.
Right? I have one more question. Is every return has every return have to be different?
No, the return statements don't have to be different. You only use a different value if you want to signal something to the caller, right? So you want to say, we're doing that right now, okay? Hit enter, Alexis, and then say const int space int, and then all uppercase here, okay? Space, all uppercase, error underscore null, none, okay? Equals 0, right? Semicolon. Copy the whole line, paste it one more time right under that. You can also do multiple on the same line, okay? Instead of the semicolon, say a comma. That's another way to do it, right? Instead of semicolon, say comma. And then say error underscore large. Yeah, you got yeah, one E, yeah, 1R, yeah, error underscore large equals 1. And then one more like that, error too large equals yeah, 2. And then maybe you could say error invalid equals 3. Error invalid equals 3. Okay. Now, where you say return 1, you can basically say whatever that is, error large. Yeah, and then fix the other one. Now, who asked the question before? Was it Chan? Someone asked the question. Yeah, Chan. Yes. Okay. So hopefully this will explain things better for you. Now, yeah. So you can define as many of these errors as you want, and then return these, right? And then finally, you'd say, no, don't return anything here. We want to stay in the loop. Okay. So and then. All right, so this is going to be in a loop. We want a condition which will let us exit the loop, right? So you want an else if after the else if, insert another else if clause, right there. Yeah, right there. Have another else if, and you say else if c is negative, c is less than 0. You say yeah, see out. Thank you for playing this game. Bye. And then you want to say break after that. A semicolon, and then you break out of a loop, break. Okay. All right. Now, have we got everything? In fact, let's do this, right? Take the by, just the word by out of there and put it at the end outside the while loop so that, it's a real by when the program ends. So get rid of that. You need an end line, I think, end line there. Yeah. And then after your while loop ends, say by. After it ends, yeah, say see out by. New line, end L. And then you return 0. Oh, return error none, right? Error none. Okay, yeah. Can you guys run this in your head to make sure that there are no error invalid? You have an error invalid. Yeah, well, you can play with it later. I was thinking maybe we'll have one more condition, but you know how to insert conditions, right? So you can say, so you can define a range of invalid numbers, like, if it's a prime number, or if it's greater than 100, you could say invalid or something like that. But, forget that for now. In fact, I was thinking if it was a negative number, you'd say invalid, but then you need an exit condition. If you're brave enough, we can make a small tweak to this, right? Is that okay? Make it so that it exits if it exits the program if it's negative, right? So no, if it's make it so it doesn't exit the program, right? So you want to say, let's say we also accept negative numbers. That's fine. So you can get rid of that. Thank you for playing this game thing. Wait. I'm trying to think. What I want to do is after you get this, after you get the user input after the get line statement on line 20, immediately we're going to compare user input, the first character of user input, to the letter Q. And if it's Q, then you exit. So hit enter there, right? And then you say if user input square bracket 0, that is the first character, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 0 is the first character. Space double equals lowercase q in single quotes, or double vertical bar, or user input of 0 equals uppercase q. Yeah. Yeah, you got a typo there, but fix it later. Okay, now you would say, you know, print your, now you would say break. Now you would say break. Yeah. Okay. And then you can have that bye-bye message. Thank you for playing the game. Bye-bye at the very end after the while loop. Not there. After you break, it's not going to execute anything else there. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for playing this game. Bye. Now, what would it do? So it's going to be in that infinite loop. It's going to ask, you can get rid of the C, that entire thing, right? That C less than 0, but we don't need that anymore. So you can put any number in there and it'll work. Get rid of those blank lines. Yeah, cool. One more. There's one more. One more blank line. Okay. So if it's greater than 10, if it's greater than 20, else it can handle it. But if you entered Q, then it's going to say thank you and exit the game and return 0. All right. So that looks like a working program to me. If anybody else has any comments, we can make some changes. Otherwise, we're going to.
I have one.
Yeah, sure.
The program isn't fully functional because as C is greater than 20, the case for C that's greater than 20 should be before C is greater than 10. So that way, anything that's greater than 20 is also greater than 10. So it would throw an error before reaching it code. It will never execute.
If C is greater than 10,
it's also the greater than 20 already. If anything's greater than 20, it's already greater than 10. And so it would have exited.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So it should be on the other. It should be the other way around. Yes. Thank you, Daniel. Okay. So we should do the comparison for 20 first and then 10. Thank you. Thank you. You don't need this. So by the way, here's the thing that I was going to say before that I didn't. We'll run it like this, but you'll see that it'll work even though we can take out the two else's, right? Well, I mean, not the if following the else, but we can take out just the word else and it'll still work. The reason for that, don't do it now. We'll do it, run it once and then we'll do it later. The reason it'll run is because the first if statement, if it enters the if statement, it's going to return. It's not going to, do anything after that. Therefore, you don't need an else there. If it ever gets there, it means it's an else automatically. It's implicit. So that's called an implicit else. Let's tackle that later. Okay, so now we can run it. It's actually going to work like a game, a mini game. Yeah. So wouldn't the Allison said something? Wouldn't the else if statement never run? If the that's what Daniel was saying. Allison, that's what Daniel said, and we fixed that.
I posted that before he said it.
Oh, I see. All right, right. Thank you. Great. So this should run, right? So let's try run some, give it some valid values first. Let's say 2 or 3, maybe 2, and enter 2. Okay, I can handle this 2. All right, try a negative number. Yay. Okay, try. I shouldn't be telling you what to type. You guys should pick numbers. Go ahead, more. Oh, why did it enter? Why did it return? Oh, because it's too large. Because it was too large, it died. Okay, so that's fine. And it exited with code 1, right? 15 exit code 1. That's error too large. Now, when the program exits with that code, where people will, here's the reason, Chan and everybody else who asked that question. When you run a program and it just basically exits, many people want to know, right? We don't want, sometimes we're not even interested in so here's the thing, right? So eventually when you start writing programs, what you'll find is that your project is not one program, right? Your project is actually composed of your product or project, right? It's composed of many programs, maybe 10 programs, 15 programs, right? Many programs, which all need to run like a choreographed dance, one after another in a particular sequence, right? So program, this program A, I'm not talking about functions, entire programs, right? Program A needs to run, produce a certain output, and then go away. Done, right? Then program B needs to enter the stage, pick up the output of program A, do some more stuff with it, and then go, right? Because each program might be specific to a particular thing, right? Maybe program A is only tasked with cleaning up the data, right? Because you got a lot of data, it's got, you know, lots of junk in it. So this program just needs to come and clean up the data, and it's cleaned up and it's done, finished, right? The next program comes to look at the cleaned up data. And because, you know, cleaning up is a big thing to do, programs usually do it separately. So it's called ETL, right? So the second program comes and says, okay, program A has cleaned up my data. Now I'm going to take the cleaned up data and then train my machine learning model with it, right? So it'll take it and then feed it to your neural net or something, and then tweak all the parameters, right? So it's called training. So it's finished it. Now maybe, and it's done and gone. Okay, another program comes after that and says, okay, now I want to take this trained machine learning system and try and predict something with it, right? So how long is it going to take me to park my car in this parking lot? Things like that, right? So many programs run one after another in a very predictable and choreographed sequence, right? They have to run exactly one after another. So this can't run before that, that can't run. And more importantly, this should not run if the first program failed. Right? What happens if the machine learning program comes to look at its data, but the cleanup program died because the data it was expecting strings and it got numbers, or vice versa, and the cleanup program said, hey, I can't do this. Or maybe, you know, the cleanup program says, I'm ready to clean up all the English text, but you threw at me a whole bunch of Wikipedia pages in Chinese, right? So in order for me to process this program, you need to call yet another program which is going to go and translate Chinese into English, and then I can take the output of the translator and then process that, right? So all of these intricacies exist, and therefore in order for a program to run which is dependent on the output of a previous program, it may say, well, how can I tell if the output is ready for me and is processed by me? Well, obviously I can look at the output and scan each line and make sure it's all okay, right? But who knows if the output is correct or not? The program that produced the output knows the program is correct or not, right? So the program that produced the output will say, well, I've done my job and I think the output looks good as far as I know, so I'm going to exit with status 0. Right? If that program was not able to process the output in a predictable way and in a nice way, and maybe it crapped out and the output is like, you know, shoddy, it might say, well, I wasn't quite able to clean up the data, so my exit code is not 0, right? There's an error, exit 2, exit 3, or something like that. So it'll exit with a different code. Now, then the second program which starts up can look at the exit code of the first program and say, oh my gosh, I can't run because the guy who was supposed to run before me, he didn't give me an exit status of 0, right? He died with an exit status of 2, which means I can't run, right? So that's why these exit statuses are important. The return of main is important, right? In fact, you can say instead of return, you can also say exit, and that will also exit within parentheses. Exit is a function which will do the, you know, equivalent of a return for you. But let's not go down that road right now. Okay, so now run the program again, and enter a value greater than 20, and see if your other cases also hit.
Right? I have some questions.
Yeah.
So as you said, if I want to execute like more than 2 functions, then I have to use like more than 2 returns.
I'm not sure I understood. Meaning you have 2 functions and then 2 different functions, and are you saying both of those functions should have their own returns?
Yeah.
Right. Yes. A function. By the way, in C++ and many other languages, a function does not necessarily have to return something. Okay. So because what is the situation when a function does not have to return something, right? So if I need to, let's say if I need to bake a cake, and I need a bunch of ingredients, so I can call a function saying, okay, milk purchaser, right? So go buy milk and give it to me, right? So goes away, buys the milk and gives it to me, right? Sugar, flour. So each of these functions does their job, but it also has to return something to me because I got to get their values and then return. So on the other, in some other situations, I don't care about the return value, right? So let's say gardener, landscaper, right? Who needs the soil to be prepared, and they would say, go ahead and prepare the soil in this lot. Okay, but you don't have to return anything to me because I'm going to go tomorrow and then plant my grass seeds. But you don't have to tell me anything after you're done because they're going to clean up the lot. They don't have anything to return to me. So in that case, I would say that kind of a function that needs to do something but not necessarily give something back to me is called a void function, because void is a signature. Void before the function name means it doesn't return anything. It does things, right? If it doesn't do anything and doesn't return anything, it's not really a function at all, right? It's just open, right? So if it does things and does not return something to you, then you would say it's a void function. You say void in front of the function name when you in the declaration. We're not doing any void. If you have functions that return things, each function should have its own return. Does that answer your question? But was it Chan, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. Does it answer the question?
Yeah, and I have one more question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Here she defined the error known, error large, like from 0 to 3 for return values. But is that the same if I don't define these values and just say return 0, return 1, return 2?
If you define the variable, it's
If I don't define the variables and just use return 0, return 1, return 2.
Oh yeah. You
get
can
the same.
Yeah, you can. It's exactly those values it'll return. The reason you put those names there is to make your program self-documenting, so that people who read it will know, right? If you just say, if you just say 3, 4, and 5, also it's hard for you, right? Suppose you want to return two large numbers, that error too large, right? If you want to return it from 5 different places, right? You got to say 5, 5, 5, and then later on you change it. You got to go to 5 different places to change it. Right? If you have a variable, you only need to change it one place.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. I hope that answered your question. Now also try and run it and make sure you can exit with Q. Yay! Okay. So this is a fully functional program. It's almost like a game. Yeah, it's almost like a game. And it works, and we started off doing something very trivial, but gradually we changed it. Now what we want to do is also adapt this program to do what Giorgio had in mind, which is to play with plus and minus. Now, I think that, hey, Alexis, this was fantastic, by the way. Okay, you did a great job. Now, before you exit, copy that whole thing. Hit Control A in there. Hit Control A in there. Control A. Command A and Command C to copy it. Open a browser and go to collabedit.com.
Okay. I don't know if you can see this. I think I'm only sharing my.
Oh, you don't have to share it. You don't have to share it. Just go to a browser, go to collabedit.com, and you can just speak, talk us through it, right? So just one step, right?
Online code editor, create a new document.
Yeah. Okay, create a new document and select C++ in the language tab on the right.
I'm entering my name. C++. Oh.
Yeah, C++. Yeah.
There it is. C++. And then just paste the code.
Paste the code. And then you see that short URL up there? It's something, it's like 6 letters or 5 letters at the top.
Yeah. CQF6S.
Yeah. Just share that in the chat window, chat window.
Oh, just type it?
Just that, just copy the URL and put it there. Triple click on the URL bar.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay.
Copy that. Now, who wanted to go after Alexis? Oh, Chan, you wanted to go, right?
But there was Georgia before me.
No, Giorgio and Daniel are not going today.
Okay then.
Okay, well, unless nobody else wants to go. But there was someone else. I think Chan wanted to go.
Yeah, I want.
Okay, all right, Chan, click on that collaborated link in the chat window. You should see Alexis' code. Do you see her code?
What do I have to click?
No, click on that link. Click on the link that
yeah.
Alexis sent in the chat window.
Oh yeah. Yes, I can see it.
Okay, now copy that entire thing and put it into your own IDE and share your IDE. Thank you, Alexis. You can stop sharing the screen now.
Thank you.
Was this useful to you?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Yeah, share your experience with other students, either in the forum or by personal chat, so that more people will volunteer. Right, more people who haven't come up to screen, up to the screen and demo their code, they would all do that. You should especially say that you did feel frustrated 2 days ago or 3 days ago or whatever it is. Well, I'm saying this only because you posted. And say that that's how I felt before, and after I went on screen, this is how I feel. So I highly recommend that you guys also try and do this, and hopefully that'll encourage people to come up here. Okay, so Chan, have you got the screen?
Oh, how to share it?
You're in Zoom?
Yeah.
Yeah, share screen. I think there must be a window.
Oh yeah.
Share screen, and you can pick a particular window to share, and that could just be your IDE. Yeah. Okay, now paste Command A, paste the whole thing. Command A, and yeah, Control A, or copy the whole thing. Paste Alexis's code. Yeah, Control A, delete the whole thing. Control A,
delete the whole thing.
Delete, and Command V should paste your Alexis's code.
This one.
Yeah. All right, now you're going to change this, right? So what you will do here is where you have the C out line. OMG, C is way too large for me.
Oh, where?
Yeah, line 27. Line 27.
27.
27.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
You have the C at the end. At the end, you print C, right?
Yes.
Now, instead of just printing C, print C++. Yeah, C++. That's what we're trying to learn, right? C++.
Oh, I have a question. If I use the double plus before character, is it different?
We're gonna try. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't. So I'm in the same boat as you, right? So nobody knows what's going to happen. We're going to experiment. We're going to put the plus plus there and see what happens. Plus plus there and see what happens. Okay. So we're going to try all these. No, not there. Just plus plus before and after. We'll just do the greater than 20 thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Save it. Run it. Okay. Now enter the value. Yeah, you run it. Save it. Run it. Okay. Now. I see. All right. Before your final, before that return statement, just say get C or something. After line, go to the end of line 27. Hit enter. Is this Visual Studio?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Go to the line. Yeah, and hit enter. Yeah, and say get char. GETCHAR. No, lowercase. Or you can also say C in double greater than. Yeah, get char. Open close parentheses. Okay, what that does is essentially it is going to wait for you to hit any key, right? In this case, you got to hit the enter key, right? Because it's buffered. So we got to hit the enter key. Until you hit the enter key, that screen won't.
Here, like this?
So, no. Right, what you had before was fine. You just need a semicolon. Open close.
Just like this.
Yeah, semicolon. Yeah, there you go. Right now.
What's the reason you put this here?
Oh, the reason I put it there is because that console that in Visual Studio, strangely enough, when you run the program, I don't know why they designed it like this, right? When you run the program, the console where you run the program appears, your program runs, the output is printed there, and then as soon as the program dies, the console is taken away. Now, I don't know, maybe it's a historical decision because it's not like a company like Microsoft to retain an unintuitive decision like this, right? Because in the product, it just comes and goes. Who knows what happened? Maybe it just appeared on screen and then I just deleted your bank accounts and then it went away, right? So who knows what happened? So you should get char says, don't go away. The program isn't done yet. Until the user hits enter, the program will not exit, right? It's just going to wait there. So you'll see the output. So run it now. Actually, what's going on? Your console is appearing and it should have happened even before. Why is your console appearing and disappearing immediately?
For me, it's all good.
Oh, it's all good for you? And
yes.
something worrying here. is your memory usage, and process memory usage is increasing steadily, as well, even though we're not allocating memory here in this loop, your memory usage was growing. Run it again.
Okay.
Why? So if on the right of your IDE, your process
Yeah, on
memory
the
is,
right.
just leave it like that for a second, right? I want to leave it there. Why is it continuing to grow? Does
Well,
it?
it's always like that. What if I run?
No, you were running it before, and I'm just trying to figure out why your process memory is growing. On the right, do you see that blue bar?
Yeah, but what if I run? It happens.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why. No, it's actually not growing. It's
That's
it's misreading.
consistent.
Yeah,
That's
it's
just
just
constant. That's time that's growing.
yeah, it's oscillating. So yeah, that's fine. Oh, it's
that's
time. Oh, I see what Daniel is saying. The x-axis is the time and the y-axis is the memory. Is that what you're saying, Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even then, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah.
Not labeled. Never mind. We want to see, but it seems to be benign, so we'll ignore that.
Got it.
Where is it running? Where's your console? You need to surface the console. Put the console on. Share the console.
Here, oh, hold on 1 second. Then I share whole my screen. What? Oh, I don't know how to do this.
Okay, share the. Oh yeah. Okay, I think I know what's going on. Your console is being covered by this IDE. Don't minimize the screen, but if you go up to the top of the title bar of the window.
Yeah, I start sharing and I share my whole screen. Can you see my
There you go.
console?
I can see the console now. I can see the console.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Now enter what it has to be greater than when. How does it enter that loop? Enter that branching statement. It has to be greater than 20. Yeah, enter 21. And what before you build, don't hit enter. Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. It's printed 21, right? Which is correct, isn't it? Now go ahead and change that plus plus to go on the other side and do the same thing. All right. So do you can you see the output now? Now it says 22. Why did it say 22 now?
Hold on 1 second. This is 22 and
No, leave that plus C. No, plus
What's
C.
this?
Try it. Okay, try it.
And this was 21. Oh, why?
Right? Why?
Hold on, why?
Why? The reason why is because the plus plus on the left-hand side means execute that line, that entire statement, right? Execute that expression, not that entire line, that expression after incrementing C. Plus plus on the left means first increment C, then do everything else. Plus plus on the right means do everything else and then increment C. So that's the difference. It's a very, very subtle difference, but it makes a world of difference. Yes?
Then what if something like this?
Hmm?
What if something like this?
Oh, x plus equals plus plus I?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So I'm glad you're
And
asking.
there could be like two cases like this.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you're asking this question. You can combine the plus plus and the minus minus operators inside of expressions, right? So in that case, what Chan has on line 45, the plus plus I, what would happen? That expression will be executed after I.
X plus I. No?
It'll become
That it execute X plus I equals X, right?
X equals X plus I, you mean?
Yeah, right.
Yes. X will be made X plus I, but in this case, it's going to be X will become X plus I plus 1 because before I is added to X, I has already been incremented by 1, right? The plus plus on the left of I on line 45 means increment I, and then add the increment value to X. On line 46, if you had, I plus plus, it says add I to X. After you've done adding I to X, then increment I. That's the difference between those two statements. Does that make sense?
Oh, then hold on. This one, the line 45, if I use this X plus increment of I,
Yes.
plus I, right?
Plus I. Why don't we try and do this? Why don't we experiment, right? Rather than talk about it, we experiment.
Oh, yeah.
Get rid of line 45 and 46 inside of that C greater than that line, right here. There, you want to say create a new variable right there, right? And after that line, hit enter after the endl. Okay. Now say int x equals not x, int d equals 10. Or E, equals 10. Okay. Now you can put in that line that you had before, and you say next line, on the next line.
Yeah.
You say E plus equals plus C. Okay, now print the value of E on the next line. E equals, no, it's a tag it, always tag it because you,
Oh, yeah. Like
within
this?
quotes, within quotes. Yeah. Space. Yeah. No, E. You want E. E and then endl.
Like this?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and then endl.
Should this be in code as well? Or?
No, that is a value of E. That's the variable. Yes, it's a variable. It's a quantity.
Yeah, right.
It's not a, okay. All right. Now, if you run it, what would you expect? When you run it? What would you expect? Let's say you're going to say C equals 20, but don't hit enter. Okay. Say 25. Yeah. Now, when you hit enter, what would you expect that E will be?
Hold on 1 second.
Is everybody following along, by the way? Is it, I can't see the chat window or the participants list. Am I the, yeah.
36?
Hang on just a sec. I'm pulling up the, so everybody's here. Okay, so I want everybody to follow along, right? If you're not following along, just let me know. So when you hit 20, enter 25, it's going to say E equals 10 already. So it's going to add 25 to E. However, before adding the 25, it's going to increment C. So C becomes 26. And no, C becomes 25, 26. What do you under? C becomes 26. That's added to 10. So E will become 36. Yes? Yes. Thank you, Augie. All right, so if you hit enter now, you should get 36. How did you get 37?
Oh, it says 37.
Why does it say 37?
Oh,
yes, of course it should say 37.
Twice.
Yeah, no, it's not incrementing twice. So what happened was you entered 25. I shouldn't explain this. One of you should explain this. Why is it 37?
I think it's because you first increment C on line 27, and then you increment again on 29. So that would be, you would be adding 27 to 10.
Yes. Is this Karen? Was it Karen?
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. That was exactly right.
Then
is everybody understanding?
What if I delete this?
No, don't delete it. What you want to do is just get rid of the plus in front of the C there. Then you'll get the right answer, right? So where you increment C, where you increment C with C++.
Where is it?
The first one, sorry. The first
one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If I delete this, then it's same.
Yeah.
Oh. I can't run.
Yeah, you can. I'm sure you can run it. I think you cannot run it because the old one is still there. Your console must be in the back, behind this window.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah, now
Yeah?
it prints
Right.
36.
Now, this thing about plus plus on this side and that side, we may think that it's not all that significant right now, but when you start doing loops, right, it will become very, very important to know what's going on. So what we can do is at this point, go on to the next volunteer, and we will do it's a slightly different program. We don't have to copy and paste and transfer this code. We'll do a slightly different program, which uses plus plus and minus minus in the context of loops. And it's important because there's at least, I'm pretty sure that every one of you will get at least 2 questions in the midterm. 2 questions in the midterm where you have the plus plus and minus minus used together with the loops. And you need to be like so totally comfortable with seeing it in that context. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting a lot of time during your class. Right. So who wanted to go after Chan? It was Chan, by the way. Was this helpful to you? Was this useful?
Yes.
Great, great, thank you. And you should also share like Alexis, right? Share your experience in the forum so that more people who are, you may think that you and Alexis are the only 2 people who are, shy and or, reticent or reluctant to come up and demo your code. That's not true, right? I bet that
it's because I am really behind of the class.
No, that's what everybody thinks that, right? Just because 5 students in the class are talking about advanced stuff and doing quest number 6 and so on, and they're the only people talking, people that are watching the forums think, oh my gosh, everybody's now gone on and I'm like left behind. That's not true. That's because you form your opinion of the world based only on what you see, right? What you don't see, you don't know. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of people are in the same boat as you. You never see them. And I have to really, kick you guys out of your caves, right? And say, no, go out there and do stuff, okay? Do stuff. Like Nike said, do it. Just do it. And that's the best way to get familiar with these things. Now, you also, I would highly recommend, share your experience, but take a mirror snapshot, compare your experience from before today and after today, and then say, hey guys, all you newbies and beginners, right? That's how I felt also, but then I went up and demonstrated my code in front of the whole class, and after that, I feel like 10 times better, 100 times better, whatever it is, right? Say that so that other people will also be encouraged to come up, and these are opportunities, right? To think about it, how many more opportunities you have? We're now in week 6, so we have like 5 more weeks of class left. There's like 10 lectures, right? So you only have 10 more opportunities to come up here and take the stage and demo your code. And I don't know how many of you are left. So that's very limited. So it's like, a limited precious resource, like gold, right? You got to take it when you get it. Otherwise, you'll find people, look at that. Daniel was happy to pick up the opportunity right at the beginning of class today. He's been up here and he's done a couple of demos. He knows how cool it is and how nice it is. And lots of people who've been up here want to do it. And if nobody does, and I'm happy to do it, right? Because I love to do it too. And the way you get it is by taking it, because I don't want to do it at the cost of your time. And this is your opportunity to take it. There's only 10 more chances. And if you miss that, hey, too bad for you. Okay. So who wanted to go after Chan? I think quite a few people volunteered at that time. So yeah, please. I have to scroll up here. Okay.
Hi. Hello, Professor.
Gao Mang. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is my first time demonstrating my code. Hope it works. Okay.
Yeah, no, actually, I hope it doesn't work. Okay, so if
it doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't work. That's the way.
Actually, today I'm going to demo this a code with a bug. A bug, but I really didn't understand.
You've got code already?
Yeah, I have the code already. The code is with some bugs.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Paste your code, and then we can work through it. Yeah, if you didn't have anything, you can start from scratch. But if you have something, start from that.
Yeah, and my code is about to populate the minimum or the maximum figure of 5.
Great.
In fact, I have already found the correct answer, the correct solution to it, but I just found a bug when I'm using another way but I didn't quite understand why it caused the bugs. Okay, so I'm
Yeah, don't
going to
worry.
share my
Yeah,
screen.
put up the buggy version. Put up the buggy version of the code, which
Yeah,
doesn't work, and
I
then
have prepared it.
yeah,
Yeah, I have prepared a buggy code, and
where is
I
it? I don't
also
see it. I
have
don't see it. I don't see your code. Oh, there you go. Okay.
okay. Yeah, this is my IDE. Okay. So yeah, this is my code.
Okay.
So
Hey, Calvin, you can't share this code. Okay, I think this is Quest code.
oh yeah, it's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So
Don't
I
yeah,
just
yeah. Okay. So do something else that is
do
similar.
something else. Oh, okay.
If nothing, we'll do you know, stuff from scratch. I'm happy to, you know, come up with something else that we can do. So open up your
Yes.
editor. Open up your IDE.
Okay, I will change another. Okay, I will first close it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so how about I share and so what do you have any
Oh wow.
suggestions?
You're gonna print the log of b to the base a. All right.
Oh
Cool.
yeah.
What
In
kind of
fact, I'm
assessment?
going. Yeah, if you have any good idea, to so if you okay, maybe I can share this code. I just write this code today.
That's
Okay.
great.
Okay. So this code is to show the log a b if it is greater or smaller
What
than
is this?
1
Is
or
this
smaller
log
than
a
0.
times b? Galvin, is this
No,
log
no,
a
no.
times b?
Log with a base a to
Oh,
b.
log base a of b, is it?
Yeah, how can I write it? I don't
Okay,
understand.
so here's how you would write it. So say log underscore a, log underscore a,
Log
log
underscore.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, log underscore a is log to the base a. Log underscore
Log
a is log to the base
underscore
a,
a
and then
and
parentheses b in parentheses.
okay.
So that is
Okay.
log log b to the base a.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I will have to change everything here.
Yeah, you can do it later, but we know what you mean, so we can do it.
Okay. So so this code okay, so I first defined the a double A and B, and I asked the user to see in A and B. Okay, so for the log AB, if A is smaller or equal than 0, and A is equals to 1, and B is smaller or equals to 0, if the log AB does not exist. So if this if this statement is true, so it will see our log AB does not exist. Okay, so else if we have A is smaller than 1 and B is smaller than 1, then we can get that. Then I also have a more detailed branch here, because I also want to show to the user if log AB is greater than 1 or smaller than 1. Okay, so if B is smaller than A, I will get log AB is greater than 1 and also greater than 0. And also else if it okay, that's quite easy. And else, so this else is means if B is greater than A, because all the other conditions are already failed. So we only have B is greater than A, and we get log AB is greater than 0 but smaller than 1. Okay, so so this branch terminates, and we comes to the else if B is equals to 1, because you can look up here b is smaller than 1, and here b is greater is equals to 1. So this starts another condition. So here b the answer is 0, and here else this else means b is greater than 1, and we get log ab is smaller than 0. Okay. And okay, this is another branch. This is the second part of it. This else stands for a is greater than 1. A is greater than 1 because a equals to 1. This condition has been excluded, so we only have a is greater than 1. When a is greater than 1, I have the same structure, but I flip all the sign. So when b is greater than 1, then I have a little branch here. So you can see that if b is greater than 1, and here you can see and if b is equal to 1 is 0. If b is smaller than 1, it gets smaller than 0. Okay, so this is my code. Hope you okay. So hope you can understand, can get my idea. Okay, I think it's
Hey,
quite easy.
Galvin, someone had a question. Someone
Yes.
was trying to talk.
Okay.
Who was it? So someone had a question, right? No. Okay. Apparently not. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you could run it, and then we can say.
Yeah, I can run it.
Yeah, we can go and change, make modifications after that if you want.
Sure. Run it. Okay. Can you see my console?
Yes, I can see your console. Everybody can, okay. I think. Yeah.
Okay. So I have a equals to 2 and b equals to 4. It's greater than 1 and greater than 0. Okay. Let me.
Oh, hang on. What does it
mean?
Hang
on. Okay. I will do it again. Okay. 2, 4. It means that log with base 2 to the 4 is greater than 0 because log base 2 to the 4 is equals to 2. Yeah. Right? It's greater than 0. And so, also greater than 1.
I'm talking about the output that you produced it is correct, but it's confusing. I think what you want to say is
yes.
If it's greater than 1, it's greater than 0 by default, right? So you don't have to say.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, actually, I just want to show to the author it's greater than 1, and also it's greater than 0, but I'm also greater than 1. Okay, I may change that later.
Yeah. Okay. No worries.
Okay. Thanks.
So.
And maybe I can test another. Okay. We can set a equals to 0.5 and b equals to 0.6. So we get it is smaller than 1 but greater than 0. Okay, maybe you can calculate. You can verify that using a calculator.
So your the value that you're calculating really is what number should I raise 0.5 to in order to get 0.6? Yes, that's what you're trying to ask.
Yeah.
Right. So
it means
log of 0.6 to the base 0.5 means what number should 0.5 be raised to the power 2 in order to get 0.6? Now, obviously, if you the more powers you add, 0.5 as you square it and cube it and as the exponent gets bigger and bigger, the quantity gets smaller and smaller, right? Because it's 0.5 times 5 square. So the only way you can get 0.6 from 0.5 is if the power is less than 1. So that's why.
Yeah, it's less than 1. Sure. If it is equals to 1, it gets 1. Sorry. It's less than. It's less than 1. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that looks right.
Okay.
Very nice. I wonder why it says your
Thanks.
process exited 13.28 seconds to run that. It doesn't seem, it didn't feel like 13 seconds when you ran it. I don't know what it's reporting.
Yeah, with my ID maybe not very good. Maybe I can use another ID later.
No, I mean, it's the reporting. It says 13.28, but it didn't feel like 13.28 seconds to me. All right, so
Yeah.
that's very good.
Okay.
If you want, we can tidy up this code a bit. It's just stylistic issues here and there. We won't change the C into get line. Although, if you can do it really, really fast on your own, you're welcome to do it. But I'm not going to talk through it.
Yeah.
We can do it later if you
Okay.
want. But we can take a look at some other minor stylistic changes if you like.
Some minor now or later?
If you want, if we can do that. Otherwise, you can do it later. Mainly to do with indentation and
Indentation.
stuff. Yeah. So I mean, the blocks following if statements need to be indented in, like the C out on line 14. Yeah, C out on line 14.
Line 14.
Yeah, that needs to
Oh,
be.
it has to be indented.
Yeah,
right.
Because it belongs to the if.
Oh,
right?
this way.
That belongs to the if.
Okay, thanks. I didn't know that before. Okay,
yeah.
I will change it.
There.
Okay, I will do the rest later.
You can do it later, but it looks nice. You can also share this code, okay? You can share this code just like Alexis and Chan and you. So share the code.
Yes.
You can share it, put a link to Replete or whatever it is. And also you can copy the code itself directly into your Reddit post. But when you do that, try and see if you can make it fit. You may need to do some changes in there. Try, fiddle with it, and see if you can make it fit before you post it on Reddit. Because I think people will, when they see, but you shouldn't make it fit at the cost of readability. If you get rid of all of the blank lines and stuff, it may be.
Yes.
Don't do that. You should have your bare minimum, spaces and indentation and blank lines should be there, but still, try and eliminate unnecessary statements and so on, because people will. When they look at a post, and if it's like 20, if it's like 50 line post, they'll say, I'll read it later on this evening or something like that. They may not read it.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, very nice. Good job, Gao Meng. Did you feel that demoing here helped you?
Yes, it helps me, but I'm kind of shy. I'm not very good at demonstrating my code.
Don't worry.
This is my first time.
That's the way. Yeah. Okay. This is the only way you can get unshy. Right?
Yes. Thank you.
We can be shy, for our entire lives. Stuck at home, and the only way to get unshy is to put yourself out there like this. And I'm so happy you did that. I'm glad, and I'm sure that this is basically the start of you do far more cool and interesting.
Thank you, Professor. And I'm sorry for demonstrating the wrong code today. I didn't quite.
It's okay. It's okay. We just put it up briefly, and I don't think I'm even going to go into the YouTube video and edit it out. Every time I have to edit something in the YouTube video, it takes me like 20-30 minutes, and that's very pain. So I'm going to leave it there. What are the chances that someone who stuck on quest number 3, I don't know what this is, quest number 3, you will actually watch this video, go to the particular place where
I understand that. So I understand it. I'm sorry again. Thank you.
No, it's okay. But make a comment in the video with the time stamp where your demo starts. Okay, so people can just click on it and see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It'll be up tomorrow. Yeah, I think the video will take slightly longer. The last video took a whole day to upload because I was uploading it from my, from this workshop, which is further away from my router. So it took longer. The upload was painfully slow. So then I realized that's not the way to go. So I brought my Mac here and then transferred stuff from the iMac to my MacBook by wire. And then took the MacBook closer to my router and uploaded to YouTube, and that happened in 20 minutes. So I'll try and do that for this one also. All right. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I will
I'm
stop
very happy. We had
sharing.
like three or four people come up here and demo, and they're all new students, for first time demo students. So I'm so happy for that. Thank you, all
Yeah,
three.
thank you too.
Does anybody else want to go? Or if you have any other questions you want to talk about, let me know. I'm happy to talk about it. If not, I don't know. If somebody else wants to take the screen, that's fine too, right? If you have, I don't know, how much time do we have? We have like 15 minutes left. 15 minutes left. If somebody else wants to go, please go, take the screen, demo your code. Otherwise, we'll just talk about random stuff here if you want.
I just had a
Not
question.
total random. Yeah,
I
go
had
ahead.
a question. Will there be the module 0 on the
Yes.
test? Module
No,
0?
no, I think we've answered. Yeah, many people have asked this question many times.
Yeah, I noticed, but I couldn't really find an answer to it.
Oh, you couldn't? Wow. No. This is Giorgio, right?
This is Steven.
Steven, yeah, okay. No. So module 0, I'm not going to quiz you on module 0. In fact, there is the answer to the answer to your question does exist. It is in the last class, okay? The video for the last class, and you just owned up to saying I did not watch the video. Well, obviously you don't have to because you were in class. But we did talk about. Oh well, no, we were in class, so you should have listened to the answer when it was live. Someone asked the question, and I said I will not ask you any questions about data representation directly in the midterm. Right? You're not going to get asked about two's complement and things like that. But the idea is that by the time you're taking the midterm, all of the stuff to do with data representation is already solid in your head. That's why I'm not testing you, not because you don't need to know it. It's because I'm going to assume that you know it already, which is, I don't know, which is better, right? It's better to get asked a question, or better to for me to assume that you already know it and then to ask questions that, take that knowledge for granted, right? Which is probably more challenging, right? But that's where you are. You won't get tested on data representation, but if you don't know some of the data representation nuances, you will probably lose a couple of points from your regular questions in this test. Right? Especially because you may have a question that uses an unsigned, a size t variable in a loop, and it's decremented. And then the loop keeps going on and on, right? This is, I think, when Nee demonstrated her code, this is what happened. And we had a real life experience of exactly what happened there. And you would not be able to answer that question if you didn't know the data representation issues. So you need to know. Be reasonably comfortable with data representation. Yeah? Is that okay?
Got it.
What else? Any other questions? Because next week we're going to start talking about objects, and yeah, that's when real C++ will begin. Yeah, and midterm is objective, right? So all I need to do after you finish the midterm is I need to look over the answers. I'm not going to nitpick there, just to make sure that there's no obvious issues that got missed. Like maybe you answered a question correctly, but the system marked, maybe the reference answer was wrong. Not likely. Right. But I generally review the scores before I publish them. I just have to click a button to publish it. But I won't do it until tomorrow sometime after I have a chance to look over. Right. So technically, you should have the results of your midterm immediately after the midterm. All right. What else? What else? Any other questions? Any other issues? Anything else that you'd like to talk about? Why this deathly silence all of a sudden? I'm also going to be silent here. Let's see what happens. This is like that game, Blink. You play these games with kids, and you got to look into your eye, and the first person to blink is the loser. Okay, so the first person who wins is the first person who speaks is the winner. There you go, Daniel.
Can we talk about like building multiple A++ files?
Yeah. So in an IDE,
you know, like having like a basic build script, because those can be handy. Or
no, I don't want to go into the making and building of code, but I think in quest number 2 or 3, you may have to submit multiple projects, right? Multiple source files.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, do them as separate projects for now. We won't go into, it is possible to set up a project where you have multiple main methods, multiple main files, and then when you build it, it'll build 3 or 4 binaries, right? It'll build, that program, that program, that program.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So what I meant was like, like let's say you have like 5 different files in with one main file.
Oh,
like,
I see.
like
I see. Okay. So Daniel is talking about
list of files every time.
I got it, Daniel. Yeah, so Daniel wants to know, what would you do to build your program if your program is too big to fit in one file, right? Sometimes you may have a bunch of functions in one file. You may have your main in another file. You may have some library of functions that you wrote in yet another file. And in order for the project to build, it needs all of those, right? So I think in most IDEs, Xcode, Visual Studio, and so on, as long as all the files are in the same directory, same folder, same place in your project navigator, the system knows to pick them all up. We won't go into the details of how you can set it up yourself. You can set it all up yourself. You can do it on the command line too. But I don't think that's really tangential to learning C++ itself. So we won't go into that right now. I'm happy to talk about that when you get to 2B and 2C. Yeah, but technically, if you want to have your project in multiple files, all you need to do is put them in multiple files in the same directory, right? And then your IDE will pick it up. The only the only time when you wouldn't do it is if you have multiple main methods, right? So if 2 files have a main method, then you can't put all of them in the same directory, or the system will fail to load. Oh, Adam, you said you just took a test. What test did you take? Adam, are you here? Adam just posted something in chat and he disappeared. Well, Adam said, you can see the chat messages too. So he said he took a test and it was quite interesting, to be honest. But I don't know what test he took. And I don't know what was interesting about it. Because the last time I looked at the midterm, well, it was mildly interesting. I wouldn't say it was quite interesting. It was mild, but because it's all standard stuff we've gone over in our classes, in our lectures, right? So we've done most of that stuff. And Adam, if you're here, you should tell us what test you took. I expect or presume it is a midterm. You took the midterm, and it was quite interesting.
Yes, I did. The questions were like spectacular, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
They were like unique in their own way because it was really fun doing them. It was like, well, you had to think a lot, even though you knew material. You have to like think over and over.
Yeah. Well, I hope that doesn't scare people away. It's like the ancient Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times, right? But it's a curse. Curses could be good, because sometimes until you're cursed to get past a hurdle, right? You look at the hurdle and say, I don't want to get past the hurdle. I got to slog to the top, but it's a hurdle. But so someone could come and curse you, and say, I curse you to have to climb that hill, okay? And then you climb up the hill because you were cursed, and then on the other side of the hill you see this paradise, right? So that's a good curse to have. So living in interesting times is good, right? Even though it's a curse, it's good because if it's interesting, then there's lots of stuff that you are curious about. That's what's interesting, right? Interesting means you're curious about something and you have an opportunity to find out. And so when someone says, may you live in interesting times, what I think it means is that, well, you're not going to have any time for leisure because your brain is going to be so preoccupied with this thing that is so interesting and you're going to try and solve it. So the curse is that, you know, you're going to have to sacrifice your leisure for a little while, but it's really a good curse because what you get out of it is worth more than what you gave up. So yes, thank you for that test. By the way, not just because Adam had interesting questions, you can't just assume that you will also get interesting questions, right? Because I have a question bank, and the system will pick up random questions from the question bank for each student. And the answer choices also will get randomly shuffled, right? So you can't say, I selected B for question number 7. What did you get, right? There's absolutely no way that could be useful to you because their question 7 is different and their answers are also all jumbled up. Great. Great. Hey, Adam, did you take the test while we were doing this class? Did you take the test during the class?
Oh, yeah, my bad. I was supposed to, but then I accidentally cleared the button that was like start the question. Then I was like, oh well, might as well take that test.
All right. Okay. All right. But I'm glad you were able to, share some information. Yeah, join our class and share the information at the end. Nice, nice. Yeah, I can't really believe that we're already at midterm. It was 6 weeks, right? In my mind, it feels like we just started like a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, right? Yeah. Mainly because we've been doing a lot of changes, right? Because I mean, I was teaching from the living room before, and then only this week I moved into this workshop. And then we've been talking about a lot of interesting stuff, I think, right? Yeah, that's the thing about living in interesting times. When you live in interesting times, you have no idea how quickly time is passing, right? And the next thing you know is, oh my God, I just lost 10 years of my life, but I don't know what happened because I was doing interesting stuff, right? So that is cool. That's a cool thing to do, right? That rather than saying at the end of 10 years, oh my gosh, those last 10 years, I hope I never get that again, right? So because that felt like 100 years. 10 years felt like 100 years. That is boring. So that's why it's not a curse. What else? What else? You guys all quite comfortable and good?
Yeah, definitely.
Great, great. Okay. All right. Yeah, we have 4 minutes left. And yeah, sure. We don't have to talk about anything in particular today. I could always, anytime you want, I can talk about random shit. Okay, so you can just say, okay, pick up some random stuff and I can talk about it if you want, but we don't have to. So if you want to conclude the lecture now, and we've got like 4 minutes, 3 minutes left, right? And you can go to your math class or whatever it is sooner, that's fine. Sooner, I don't know what sooner means in these times, right? So sooner means I gotta close this tab and open that tab, right? Like it takes 2 microseconds instead of 10 microseconds. Okay, Giorgio, math test, best of luck. Best of luck. What subject is it? I'm just out of curiosity. Is it is math 1D or 1B or 1A? Calculus is 1A. All right. Best of luck. Best of luck, Chan. I'm glad you could make it to class. I'm glad you guys had a chance to present your code. So hopefully after the midterm, when we start talking about objects, more of you will be able to come up and share your code and your experiences. Thank you. Thank you all. All right. So that's end of class today. And I have a good weekend. Okay. Best of luck for your midterm. Have a good weekend. And Tuesday, when we reconvene, we'll start talking about entirely new concepts. All right. Bye, Steve.
Thank you very much.